In a world not so different from our own, there was a girl named Hazel. Her life was ordinary, except for one magical secret. Every time someone left a kind comment on her online art, a glowing butterfly would flutter into existence, a tiny winged testament to a moment of human connection. Her room became a sanctuary, a kaleidoscope of vibrant, shimmering life. Each butterfly, a different shade, a different pattern, represented a person, a positive thought sent out into the digital ether and made real. "This is beautiful," one comment read, and a sapphire blue butterfly emerged, its wings dusted with silver. "You made my day," another said, and a sun yellow one danced in the air. Hazel felt seen, connected, her art, a bridge to 1,000 unseen friends. The butterflies were her companions, a constant, gentle reminder of the goodness that existed in the world. She would spend hours just watching them, their silent flight, a symphony of affirmation. But the internet, as we know, has two faces. One day, a comment appeared that was different. It was sharp, cold, and cruel. "This is talentless trash," it spat. As Hazel read the words, a knot of ice formed in her stomach, and from the screen, something new emerged. It wasn't a butterfly. It was a moth, a large black moth with dusty, velvet wings and beady eyes that seemed to soak up the light. It didn't flutter. It loitered, its presence heavy and suffocating. It settled on her wall, a dark stain against the vibrant swirl of butterflies. Hazel tried to shoo it away, but it clung there, a stubborn shadow. Soon, another one appeared. "Why are you even trying?" And then another. "Just quit." With each hateful word, a new moth was born. They started to follow her, a small dark cloud that cast a pall over her colorful world. The butterflies, once so vibrant, seemed to flutter less, their light dimming in the presence of the creeping darkness. The moths began to affect everything. They would bump into her as she drew, their dusty wings smudging her work. Their silent, judgmental presence made it hard to concentrate, to find the joy she once had. The cloud of black moths grew, eclipsing the butterflies. They followed her out of her room, a persistent, shadowy entourage that no one else could see. Her friends noticed the change in her. "You seem distant, Hazel," they'd say. "Is everything okay?" But how could she explain that she was being haunted by the ghosts of hateful words? The joy of creating was replaced by a constant, gnawing anxiety. Every time she thought about posting her art, the image of those black moths filled her mind. The fear of their birth was becoming stronger than the joy of the butterflies. Her sanctuary had become a prison, the air thick with unspoken negativity. The vibrant colors of her life were fading to gray, drained by the silent, relentless swarm. One evening, overwhelmed, Hazel sat in her darkening room, the moths a suffocating blanket around her. She was ready to give up, to delete her accounts and let the butterflies fade away, just to be free of the moths. As she scrolled through the sea of negativity, her finger hovering over the delete button, a new comment popped up. It was from a young artist who had just started her own page. "Your art inspired me to start drawing," it read. "Please don't ever stop. You don't know who you might be inspiring." As she read those words, a single, brilliant butterfly emerged. It was small, but its light was fiercely bright, a shimmering gold that pushed back against the encroaching darkness. It wasn't just a comment. It was a connection, a purpose. In that moment, Hazel realized something profound. The moths fed on her attention, her fear. They were only as powerful as she allowed them to be. The butterflies, however, weren't just for her. They were for others too. With this newfound understanding, Hazel made a choice. She couldn't stop the moths from being born. The internet would always have its shadows, but she could choose what she focused on. She started to actively cultivate her community, creating spaces where kindness was the rule, not the exception. She replied to the good comments, fostering conversations, strengthening the connections that birthed her beautiful butterflies. When a black moth appeared, she would acknowledge the sting, allow herself a moment to feel it, and then deliberately turn her attention away. She wouldn't feed it with anger or despair. Instead, she would look at her golden butterfly, the one that reminded her of her purpose. She focused on the light. Slowly, miraculously, things began to change. The moths didn't vanish entirely, but they began to lose their power. Without her focus to sustain them, they grew listless, their shadows less menacing. The butterflies, nurtured by her renewed passion and the growing warmth of her community, began to flourish once more. Her room slowly transformed back into a vibrant sanctuary, But it was different now. The occasional black moth still clung to the corners, a quiet reminder of the world's harshness. But they were no longer a terrifying swarm. They were just a part of the tapestry, a contrast that made the light of the butterflies seem even brighter. Hazel learned that you can't control what others send into the world, but you absolutely can control what you cultivate in your own garden. Her art, now filled with a deeper resilience, touched more people than ever before. Her story reminds us all that while we can't erase the negativity online, we can choose to nurture the positive. We can choose to focus on the connections that lift us up and give us purpose. We can choose to be the person who sends a butterfly into someone else's world, because that small act of kindness might be the very light they need to push back the dark. This story is a metaphor for how we navigate our digital lives. Every like, every kind word is a butterfly we send to someone, and we all face the black moths of negativity and self-doubt. It's so important to remember that your voice, your kindness, matters. It can be a beacon for someone lost in the shadows. And if you're the one surrounded by moths, please know that it's okay to feel overwhelmed, and it's brave to seek help. Talk to a friend, a family member, or a mental health professional. Your well-being is more important than any comment section. Let's promise to send more butterflies into the world. Thank you for watching. If this story resonated with you, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more content that explores the heart of our digital world. Stay kind and take care of yourselves and each other.